Hey, what's going on, you guys? Hey, welcome back to another episode of iTrek. Well, we now have a company that has decided to monetize the sun. The same sun we all wake up to every morning. Yeah, that one. Soon, you'll be able to have sunlight 24/7 if you can afford it. That's pretty wild and it creeped me out at first when I heard about it. We'll take a look at it along with a lot of other interesting and creepy videos. But before we get into any of that, do me the biggest favor and hit that like button for me, hit that hype button, and subscribe. If you're not already a part of the iTrek fam, do make sure to watch until the end because you know there's gems all through this episode. Alright, we won't waste any more time, we'll get right into it.
Giant space mirror that would turn night into day was just approved, even after significant public pushback. A company called Reflect Orbital is planning on launching a satellite with a 60-foot mirror. It reflects sunlight back to Earth after dark and would create a patch 3 miles wide, briefly turning night into day. The concerns are exactly what you'd expect. It could disrupt sleep and animal cycles, distract pilots and drivers, and they're not just planning on launching one satellite. The company plans to launch 50,000 of them. Their goal is 1,000 mirrors up by the end of 2028 and 5,000 more by 2030. Now, why are they doing all of the above? Their claim is that they could play a role in generating clean energy and providing critical lighting at night to save lives. I'm not sure if any of us are asking for the latter.
Wildfire smoke is making Americans seriously sick, with scientists warning that the health effects are way worse than expected as it does these insane things to the human body. Nearly half of the United States, stretching from Michigan to New York, has become engulfed by thick, heavy smoke blown down from the massive Canadian wildfires. This not only has turned the skies orange, but is also creating severe health risks for millions of Americans because researchers found that this wildfire smoke contains massive amounts of what is called PM 2.5, fine particulate matter, which simplified is tiny solid particles mixed in with chemical toxins originating from burnt trees, residential homes, vehicles, etc. And when humans breathe in the smoke, these PM 2.5 particles travel deep into our lungs, where they then pass on through to our bloodstreams, causing critical cardiovascular problems, respiratory complications, and dangerous blood clots that leads to tens of thousands of premature deaths per year.
All the fam on the East Coast, definitely take it easy. If you need to have a face mask out there, do that, because that doesn't sound like something you want to be inhaling.
A team of South Korean and US researchers has developed a robotic suit that allows people to dress themselves without using their hands or needing assistance. Air pressure powered vines guide the clothes along the body even if the wearer is moving. The entire process takes about 10 seconds, and this technology could one day be used in emergency response situations. Next, to a more violent sort of robot. The world's first humanoid robot fighting competition debuted in China yesterday, with full-size robots throwing punches, landing kicks, and dodging incoming attacks. One of the most dramatic moments came when a robot had its head knocked off and kept on fighting.
Now, I've seen shoes that lace themselves, and I thought that was cool. But clothes that can actually put themselves on you? Tap in and let me know if that's something that you would keep in your closet.
See, y'all didn't understand what I meant by rituals. What I mean by that is these celebrities have to perform all type of rituals. It can be anything like eating feces, drinking urine, sacrificing. These people have to go on stage, humiliate themselves. You want that number one album? You got to go do those rituals. You want your movie to hit the box office in a day? You got to do those rituals. You want your album to go number one on Spotify? You got to do those rituals. This is a rituals game. They don't care about how talented you are. They don't care. It's rituals.
Ever notice this mistake in this Ninja Turtle scene? It's the stuff that'll give you nightmares. Let's see if you can catch it. Okay, watch closely. Right there. Look. Yep, that's an actual human face inside Donatello's mouth. Sweet dreams.
Now tell me, do you understand this? Because this messed my head up. What is going on? When you see it, let me know. And if you understand, break it down.
That one was fairly complicated. I mean, there was a duck in the background standing, and then we saw the duck in the forefront swimming. How could you be doing both at the same time? If you know something I don't, tap it and let me know.
Someone said worrying is like worshiping the problem, and wow.
I'm more of a solution-oriented type of guy, so I get it. I definitely get it, but I'm never just staring at a problem. I'm always thinking rather quickly about the solution.
First, A, Obama is scientifically literate. It's A. B, he said, because he's scientifically literate, he said what is scientifically defensible, that there are probably aliens in the universe. Anyone who studied that problem will arrive at that conclusion.
They're real, but I haven't seen them, and they're not being kept in, what is it?
Area 51?
Area 51. There's no underground facility, unless there's this enormous conspiracy, and they hid it from the President of the United States.
That's what he said.
Robert Bobrowski is the perfect definition of when life gives you lemons, you make orange juice. You might remember Rob Bob for going viral back in 2016, because at 7'7", this man was dominating U16 basketball in Romania. After he went viral, he moved to the United States to go play at Spire Institute in Ohio, where he would eventually go and sign to Rochester Christian University to play basketball there. But from pain and injuries he was dealing with all throughout college, he barely saw the court, and he was forced to step away from basketball in the 2021-2022 season. But this didn't stop him from pursuing his dream of wanting to do something bigger. You see, back in 2024, Robert actually made his acting debut, playing the offspring in Alien Romulus. People praised him for the role because of the practical effects, when they really probably could have made this CGI. Back again in 2026, Rob Bob played Pirate Clark in the horror film Backroom, and all we need now is for Robert to play Slender Man at some point.
Engineers at Northwestern University have created a drone that appears to vanish in plain sight after it takes flight. The team created the Phantom Twist, a drone that uses a concept called motion blur, an effect that makes fast-spinning fans and propellers look like a ghostly smudge. The drone spins up to 25 times per second, which is too fast for the human eye to see clearly. While it isn't completely invisible, it appears to seamlessly blend into the background. The work could lead to drones that monitor wildlife, survey the environment, and inspect infrastructure with less visual disruption.
Take a look at this, folks. How are there clouds behind the moon? Just think about that.
And it was so. And God made two great lights, the greater light to rule the day, and the lesser light to rule the night. He made the stars also. And God set them in the firmament of the heaven to give light upon the earth, and to rule over the day and over the night, and to divide the light from the darkness. And God saw that it was good. And the evening and the morning were the fourth day.
In the 600th year of Noah's life, in the second month, the 17th day of the month, it's the same day were all the fountains of the great deep broken up.
Okay, no joke. If this is version 1, we are absolutely cooked.
We're looking at Oscar, the first human modular prototype that is able to live in various setups. Connect the brain to the heart module to activate the blood circulation. Now, the lung is going to start breathing. You can see both organs are now collaborating. I can add a kidney module. And if I add a limb module, I start actuating the organism to move. Now it's looking for the optimal temperature, which is 37 degrees. If I add another limb, Oscar will recognize it and beneficiate from new possibilities.
Now keep in mind, these are getting better every single day.
Now he's focusing on a point that most people are not even really focusing on. Things really only get better with time, especially when there's a monetary gain in play. As these robots just learn more and acquire more of this technology, it's going to come a day when we won't know the difference between a robot and a human being. I'm pretty sure of it.
Love. Dapat sines işte borude.
What in the walking algae is that? Like what the? Looks like a piece of mold just with legs walking around. That's crazy. I've never seen nothing like that before.
How is this possible? They already had an ad out for Messi's halftime event before the game between Argentina and England was even over with. Can someone explain this one to me? You see it for yourselves. I mean, the game was still going on at that time. There wasn't even a winner decided yet, but yet they already had this advertisement out. Tune into Lowe's Messi halftime event on July 19th. How is this possible? Can someone explain this one to me? Again, the game was still going on. It was still happening when they had this advertisement. So something is definitely up. If this doesn't show you that these games are predetermined and that these games are scripted, I don't know what will at this point. All of these sports leagues are as scripted as the WWE.
Most people don't realize this, but your ears aren't just ears. They're mapped. The older systems, meridian lines and acupuncture, show us that specific points on the ear are linked to different organs and the nervous system. For instance, some people specifically pierce the top of the ear to help with migraines. When you pierce through these areas, you're not just going through skin, you're engaging points meant to connect to something else. Acupuncture uses these same points to help the body. So what happens when we put metal through them and leave it there permanently? In the past, people didn't just randomly alter their bodies. There was always a reason. Now, multiple piercings have become the norm, yet most people never stop to consider the effect they might have. Once you know what these points are connected to, it changes everything.
In the footage, you can see a grey figure running along the field. The translucent, grey-hued figure appears to be able to move through the field's touch lines completely unencumbered. In fact, it almost seems like he's running through people at certain points. Is there a reasonable explanation for why a shadow person was caught on camera running in the stadium? The figure is consistently translucent regardless of which angle we're looking at in the video.
Imagine you go to a 5D movie and you go there to watch a movie about war and you're thinking this is going to be a fun experience, you know, I can feel everything that's going on in this movie.
But eventually, feeling everything that goes on in the movie starts to not sound so fun because you're watching a movie about war. And bullets start firing during this war, and they start heading towards the camera. And you're thinking, okay, it's gonna be a little special effect, until bullets actually start flying towards the crowd and knock out a few people. And at this point, you're thinking, I didn't know the movie was about to be this 5D, so you try to do everything in your power to run away and escape the movies.
I just got back from the grocery store, and I had to show you guys this. I wonder if you guys are going to be excited as I was when I first saw it. Because never in my 32 years of life have I ever seen, look at all these, a bumpy egg. What in the world? I've never seen this before.
Now, I've run across an egg like that once or twice, and I couldn't tell you what was inside because I immediately just threw it away. But if you were brave enough to go ahead and eat one of those eggs that look like that, tap in to let me know what was the experience like, because I don't think I'm brave enough.
I was going to give y'all a tour of my basement, but as you can see, it is flooded. So instead, I thought I might show you some of the scary shit that I've caught on camera in my crawl space. You're going to want to turn up your screen brightness for this so you can see. What do you think of that? Dark shadow that just shoots out from around the corner and shoots right back. And here's the time that I had a security camera in the crawl space. And here's where I screenshotted it and brightened it up. You got any idea what the hell that is? I don't. Think that might be the same thing that's rattling my basement door? The crawl space wraps all the way around the basement, so I don't know. If the entity can't move through the basement door, how can it move through the basement wall? This is what it's like living in my freaking house. It's scary as hell. And the basement floods when it rains, which is awesome. Need to figure out that problem. Maybe all the airflow experts can help me out there.
This is insane. This kid right here got the first ever non-blurry alien footage. I'm telling you, this is some crap, but first, the news is at it again. They are airing a football type UFO thing on the news. You know what it means when they're reporting on something, right? Everyone's trying to say it's Project BB, right? Well, the news says that as well. So obviously they want you to think they're holograms. Wonder why? We'll get right back to the guy's footage in a second. And we'll also go over what I believe they are.
It's not weird, but I just had something pass underneath my wing, maybe.
It's just amazing that that's happening at the time of the Dior bags, which are still in the sky, just no one talks about them no more. Now, what you really want to see.
Saw the alien, and I recorded it on my TV with a tripod because I recorded on that camera, and I can't get off the disc.
This is just the first clip, but wait till you see the second clip when it's out in the open and super tall.
Can you come out of the grass?
No. Notice how it ran away when he was talking to it. It's right here. He's about to zoom in so you can see it better. And it matches the description of everyone who's been abducted.
Crap. What do you want?
Pretty bizarre stuff.
They have these new robots for Neuralink, and it'll put it in less time than it has for LASIK surgery. Now, he goes, that's brutal. He said, that's technology is the beginning of it, and people use that for medical purposes. But he said, you won't need that. He said, in 2031, 2032, nanotechnology will be advanced enough that by 2035, it'll be common to link your brain to the AI internally. The nanobots will do it. So what does that mean? It means if I said to you, did you see 2001: A Space Odyssey, or whatever movie it was, right? And when I ask you that, you might remember the poster, you might remember the actor or the actress or something like that. That's how you remember things. You go, yeah, I remember seeing that, right? Well, he said, now when you ask the question in your mind, you'll get the answer again, but you won't know if it's your organic brain that gave it to you or the AI brain that gave it to you. And he said, you won't care because it'll have a longer memory, it won't go away, and you'll have access. I said, man, that sounds a little creepy. And he said, to you and I, it sounds creepy. Right? I'm 66 years old, right? So he says, and he's 79. He said, but the young person, we're the only generation that will have ever been born without AI now. Every other generation will grow up with it. If they say I can speak 10 languages and all I got to do is drink a few nanobots, they're going to do it. He said, and people will do it as they get older because they don't lose their memory, and people will do it for medical purposes, and eventually it'll be a standard like anything else that occurs. And he says, that's how we keep up. We merge with the technology.
I don't know, it might be time for him to go as well. You never really know. So I say you just build off of those people. Was that a ghost? You never really know. So I say you just build off of those people. Was that a ghost? Yo, that wasn't even a person.
Junebug, chill out. I ain't got time for this.
Yo, did we catch a ghost on stream?
Bro, stop.
No, stop it. Stop it.
Junebug, chill out. I'm alone.
I thought this was the only owl in Bohemian Grove, but I was wrong. Before I show you the second owl, you need to understand that everything we heard about Bohemian Grove was a lie.
There was 32 camps.
The Hillbillies, they're the biggest one, right?
And the band is the biggest.
The band.
Camp.
When I found the secret documents about Bohemian Grove that are only for the Grove members, the biggest camp is Aviary Camp. It has 116 members, but the band camp has only 68 members, and there are 120 camps according. Now check this. The new production facility is partially built into the hillside to reduce the space those functions took on the stage floor. If we look at the map, the hillside is here, so definitely the stage of the owl is somewhere in there.
Last night, I was just sitting on the couch. All of a sudden, I heard this crazy sound. This is basically what happened, because I saw this with my own eyes. Imagine Jocks doing this by himself. But like a little bit more extreme. Because even the mirror moved.
You're just sitting on the couch and that he just started like vibrating and shaking?
Yeah, literally. I mainly heard his head go like this. I saw the door going like this. And I also saw the mirror going crazy.
That's a full tarot mirror that we got specifically for Jocks. And it started shaking.
Saw him moving. He literally was going back and forth.
Where we had members of a group that claimed to be from the planet Arcturus. They all happened to be blonde-haired and blue-eyed, come from very wealthy families, and gone to Ivy League universities. Strange aliens among us. This is what they had to tell us on the January 20th, 1988 program of People Are Talking. On Arcturus, but you don't have one in Secaucus.
To whom? To whom do the changing thoughts that you're presenting to this audience appear, Richard? This is phenomenalism.
Are manners known on Arcturus?
Americans, you're going into the most crucial period of Earth history, starting in May of next year. The terrible earthquakes, the storms that will beset humanity, the financial disasters. We must warn you. We're here to warn you of these things. We are sincere.
Okay, so you're saying next year...
Not phenomenalism and five and dime store stupidities, Richard. I talked to you behind the scenes about this.
I did talk to you behind the scenes, too. And you know what I think?
Yes, Richard.
Now, for the first time in the course of this interview, you are looking me in the eyes. And what you told me is, don't believe people who don't look you in the eyes. During the course of this interview, you have not looked me in the eyes. You've tried to project to the audience here.
I'm talking to them.
You want to know what I really think? I think you found some young, impressionable people who are on a quest for spiritual, moral values.
This is all fine. Richard?
And there may be...
This is all fine. This is fine. Brilliant, Richard.
What I believe is that I've afforded you every courtesy on the show.
Have manners. You'll never be a Ted Koppel unless you have manners. Well, you will always be what you are.
You know what? You'll never be a David Bowie unless you get a better story. We're going to take a break right now. We'll be right back in just a moment.
Now, if he is an alien, he spent way too much time on Earth because you can tell by the way he was talking trash. That's definitely a human trait to talk trash as a last resort.
She thought she was recording a shadow on her floor. Then it moved. Lying on the ground was a dark shape that didn't look human at all. At first, she assumed it was a pile of clothes or something left on the floor. But when she zoomed in, the shape became even more disturbing. It looked like a face hugger, its long spider-like limbs wrapped tightly around what appeared to be a human face. The more she focused on it, the less it looked like an object and the more it looked alive. Then the shape slowly shifted across the floor. That's when panic set in. The video ends a few seconds later, leaving viewers with one question. If you looked down and saw this on your floor at night, would you keep filming or get out immediately? Comment below and follow for part 2.
This kid is using a technique called mental abacus, and it's allowing him to do sums incredibly quickly. Children who train on it learn to visualize an entire abacus inside their head, and then manipulate imaginary beads with their fingers to calculate. The hand movements you can see are real calculations happening in real time. Each finger represents a bead on the abacus, and the thumb acts as the single bead on the upper deck. And it completely bypasses the way that most of us do math. The brain processes the abacus as an image in your head as opposed to numbers and words, using a completely different and much faster part of the brain. At the highest level of competition, trained children can add 15 three-digit numbers in the space of 2 seconds.
So this children book that was released months ago actually showed Argentina versus Spain in the World Cup final. Can somebody explain this one? This should show and tell you all that you need to know about these sporting events and how scripted they are, because what are the odds that a children's book that was released months ago showcased Argentina versus Spain, with Spain apparently winning? But maybe this is just one big coincidence, right? Maybe. Or maybe there is something more to this, because again, what are the odds that a children's book that was released months prior showcased these two exact teams facing off? Something definitely ain't right to me, especially with all of the different connections between Messi and Yamal. I mean, something really seems off about this. And in my honest opinion, this has been planned for quite some time, because all of these leagues are as scripted as the WWE.
Eventually, something will happen to Earth, hopefully not soon, but either natural or man-made, that would cause the end of civilization. So the probable lifespan of civilization is much greater if we're a multi-planet species, and ultimately even go beyond our solar system.
Watch this.
Wait, Frank went through it.
Watch. What the hell?
That's Frank, dude.
I know, or it's somebody with Frank's body.
Hey, you know what? They were definitely on that Bob Marley before they even had that conversation. That's what made it so funny.
This is why America is good for nothing, and China is light years ahead. Somebody look at this. This is a laser tattoo removal, but notice how it removes the tattoo in one go. Amazing.
Guys, we are seeing the book of Revelation unfold right before our eyes, and still nobody's believing it. A while ago, I made a full video on the 7 trumpets blown in the book of Revelation that will signal a series of events ultimately leading to the return of Christ. Well, the Bible says when the first trumpet is blown, there will be a mixture of hell and fire cast upon the earth, burning up 1/3 of the earth along with green grass and trees. Well, what we've been seeing in the last 5 years is an unprecedented level of forest fires, not just in Canada, but in Colorado, California, and across the world in places like China as well. Now, I'm not saying for sure whether or not we're seeing the blowing of the first trumpet, but I'm just saying I wouldn't risk it.
A hand slides out of one of the lockers. The explorer recoils, and honestly, it's hard to blame them. The obvious explanation is a friend crouched inside, waiting for the camera to pan past. It's the kind of prank that plays perfectly on short-form video, and plenty of viewers have called it exactly that. But the lockers look too narrow, the skin looks too pale, and the movement, slow, deliberate, exploratory, doesn't quite match someone trying to scare their mate for clicks.
Scientists and conservationists have just discovered a new species of primate. Only the 5th new species to be added in the last 75 years. I can't stress to you how important and insane this discovery is. This is somebody's life's work, discovering this new primate, the Lequelli. Scientific name was named Colobus congoensis because they were quite literally found in the rainforest of Congo. This monkey is a part of the Colobus primate species, which usually makes it smaller, and he only has 4 fingers and no thumbs. What you first notice about him is that he has this pinkish orange hue of almost like a mask-like formation on his face. He's got this nice reflecting black fur and a really long tail. The colobus species as a whole has a lot of different inner workings than regular primates. Instead of gripping a lot of trees with their hands, other primates that have thumbs, they rely on their very strong body and their strong tail to propel them from tree to tree in these rainforests. The other distinct features about this species is that they are herbivores. They have these flapped over ears, and you will mostly hear them, not see them. Scientists say that they have a very distinct roar that almost kind of sounds like a pig, almost like a snorting pig. Scientists that did discover this species is recommending that it's put on the endangered species list, specifically because this rainforest is in danger and this primate may be hunted. I can't stress enough to you guys that this is a once-in-a-lifetime discovery to document this species that has really not been seen by a lot of different people. It's a reminder that Earth still has so many things that are undiscovered.
Please tell me y'all saw this video coming out of Mexico. A woman said something kept getting to her chickens. No matter what, she put wire and everything up, something kept getting in there with her chickens and eating them. One day, she heard rustling in her chicken coop, so she went out with her phone and recorded it. Look at what this woman captures on camera.
So you're saying that they can grow a craft in space?
Yes.
And how prevalent do you think this is amongst extraterrestrial civilizations that are advanced enough to travel here?
I think it's a common thing. They learned how to, produce gravity, a gravitational field. An electromagnetic field that envelops the craft and the person, so they have their own atmosphere and their own, gravity. And that's why they can, go 1,000,000 miles an hour and turn at a 90-degree turn, because they're in their own gravitational force. That has nothing to do with the planet or anything else around them.
I guess one of the things that, if we're gonna really get speculative here, people might wonder if the craft would become sentient and then perhaps turn on its owner at some point if it wasn't feeling respected, if there could be some danger in having a being with free will that is your spaceship.
This is where it gets really interesting. The craft is you. So you are the craft. Now, if you are suicidal, then the craft will be suicidal. If you are having a good time, then the craft's going to be happy too. And it feels this way on a craft. You can actually feel this back and forth. It's not operating really on its own as much as you think. It is its own sentient, but it only feels, your emotion.
Wow.
Which is really neat. I've been on craft before where I felt like, the best way I could put it is, I felt like it was my pet dog, because it was just so funny and cuddly and hilarious. And
wow.
But at the same time, it was very obedient, like a dog. It would never turn on its owner, although some dogs do. You know what I'm getting at. I'm getting at that point where, it's a very beautiful connection between the beings and their craft.
Please explain to me how the hell koala fingerprints are this identical to ours? It's actually crazy to think about that koala fingerprints are actually more identical to ours than chimpanzees and any monkey. It's a little too identical in my opinion, especially because koalas look like this when they are angry.
Now, I've seen some people that look like that when they're angry too, but what really convinces me is their fingerprint. I mean, that is very, very, very close. I don't know the whole DNA breakdown of the koala bear, but I'd be interested in finding out.
Oh my gosh! That's a little abandoned house, and it looks like somebody is in the window. Oh my gosh. Mr. Rocket or something. Does it move? Send that to me. We had to turn around and come back so we can get a better look. Now look how scary that house is. Oh my gosh. What's in his hand? That is scary.
United States military commander has just told the entire world to be on high alert for a possible World War III. Look.
When I look around the globe, Russia, China, Iran, North Korea, and others are increasing their collaboration and their cooperation as their interests align against us. We see this clearly in Ukraine. While President Trump pushes for a peaceful resolution to a horrible war, China continues to fund Putin's war machine. Iran continues to supply technology and weapons. And North Korean combat troops remain in Russia on Ukraine's border. And of course, there's a confluence between Russia, Iran, and Venezuela and their dark fleet of oil tankers that is helping to fund the war. In the Arctic and the high north, we see a similar trend. Russian and Chinese vessels are conducting more and more joint patrols. Chinese icebreakers and research vessels are in Arctic waters, and their research is not for peaceful purposes. It's to gain a military advantage. Russia, meanwhile, continues testing advanced capabilities in the Barents Sea. As new shipping routes emerge and new resources are discovered, the Arctic only grows in strategic importance. And all of this comes in the midst of an increasing hybrid threat: airspace violations, GPS and GNSS interference, and the Shadow Fleet in the Baltic Sea threatening underwater infrastructure. In short, the Arctic, and Northern Europe by extension, has become a front line for strategic competition. Within NATO, Allied Command Operations, the command that SACEUR oversees, has taken steps to strengthen our deterrent posture, much of which is oriented in that northern region, here. Just over a year ago, we established Baltic Sentry, an activity to protect that critical underwater infrastructure. And this past fall, we developed Eastern Sentry to increase our agility and further integrate our air and missile defenses on the eastern flank.
Now, guys, I didn't film this, but Weather Channel posted this up. That sun sure looks like it's in front of the Empire State Building now, doesn't it? This is the end time.
You want to know how you spot someone without a soul? They will never shed a tear for anything. People without souls do not have the ability to cry, because they do not feel sorrow. They do not feel remorse. They do not feel anything. So if you've never seen a motherfucker cry that you've been around for a long time over any situation, they're probably soulless. And you might want to get away from them.
The ocean is warming up so fast right now that there is a flesh-eating bacteria that used to only live down in Florida, but it's now officially spreading up the coast. So this scientist at Stony Brook just confirmed that this flesh-eating bacteria is in the water near Long Island and a couple of the ponds near the Hamptons. They're saying that it has now shown up in multiple different spots, and this bacteria usually lives in the warm water of the Gulf, so it's basically never been this far up north before. They've reported that it's been creeping up the Atlantic coast about 30 miles every single year as the ocean keeps warming, but it's already hit Connecticut, Rhode Island, and Cape Cod. Long Island is just the newest spot on the list. You don't get it from drinking the water, it gets in through a cut or a fresh tattoo while you're in warm water, or from eating raw shellfish like oysters. And this bacteria is really serious because only about 1 in 5 people who get infected actually make it. The Southampton town trustees put out an advisory over this, but they haven't closed any of the beaches. Is going outside safe at all at this point?
We can take you, or we can go get help. You can reinvent yourself. You're so good at that. You can have a new character and take it to the next level.
I want to be the real guy, no more here.
When I started to write what I really read in the Hebrew Bible, I was fired in 1 minute. Let us make man in our image. Man has become like one of us. Let us go down. Multiple divine figures in the Bible. Different name of gods in the Bible. If Elohim are not God, the Bible is entirely another book. So the Elohim were individuals in flesh and blood with a life longer, much longer than the life of humankind, but they were mortal. And the Elohim group of individuals, an higher civilization with higher knowledges and higher technology, higher powers. Those are all flying objects that are clearly and precisely described technologically in the Bible.
Ever seen a river frog man? You're about to. That is insanely creepy, and I might add, very close. As you can see, it just looks like it's kind of crouched down in the water, but guess what? There's 2 images. What do you think of that? Looks like it's looking right at the person. I would probably recommend getting out of there quickly, but it's a great image. Thank you for whoever stayed in there to do that.
If you thought that was a spider, you'd be finished. That was the spider-tailed horned viper. It's a highly venomous species with a fake bait spider as a tail. If you didn't notice the snake, no worries. Neither does its prey. What they do is they find an area where they camouflage perfectly. And they sit perfectly still with the only thing moving being their tail, or the spider. They move it exactly how a real spider would move. And a lot of birds and small animals eat spiders, so it's a perfect bait. And when an animal tries to claim that meal, they become the meal. And quick, too. They can strike faster than we can blink. We couldn't give this upgrade to a non-venomous snake. On top of that, their venom is a hemotoxin, which means it causes blood clotting and hemorrhaging throughout your whole body. You'll start bleeding from places you didn't know you can bleed from. Even though there's never been one reported bite on a human, so scientists don't really know what the venom will do to you. Moral of the story, if you ever see a spider moving around in circles, be careful. It might be attached to a danger noodle. And as always, follow for more facts.
I always thought leeches were a water problem. It turns out there's a land version too, and they are just as terrifying. The scary part, once they latch on, you don't even know it. They've got a natural anesthetic in their saliva, making their bite completely painless. They hunt by sensing vibrations, body heat, even the carbon dioxide in your breath. They were actually one of the most persistent enemies of the Vietnam War, but the soldiers quickly learned you don't yank them off. Ripping them away can make the bite bleed much longer, increasing not only blood loss, but the risk of infection. Surprisingly, they just let them finish feeding and drop off on their own. The more you know.
Now, leeches have been one of them organisms that I just don't ever want to come in contact with. I mean, their sole purpose is just to suck your blood. Like, that's just wild to me. It's like on the highest level of creepy, if you ask me.
Oliver Tree, where do you see yourself in 10 years?
As far as my dream goes, I'll be living somewhere in former Yugoslavia. Probably Serbia, Belgrade to be specific. I'll be living in an underground bunker, raising my family. Probably working on making brewskis with Pops.
Okay, interesting. Well, I'd love to check in with you on September 24th, 2035 and see where you're at.
You can find me. You can find me.
I don't talk about this because I don't want to create a situation of spookism, and I don't want to create a situation of mass hysteria. But once I found out that I was living in a simulation, I realized something. You can control it.
That's what I've been trying to tell people.
And there's a group of beings that people see that called shadow beings, who I believe are the sentinels or the security of this simulation. Because in order for somebody to, like that video I showed you with a guy in Africa when he cut the little baby head off.
Right.
When you do these certain rituals and you find out certain information and you know that this shit is all bullshit.
Right.
And you're like, wait a second, this is all bullshit. This shit don't matter.
Right.
And if I do this ritual, sacrifice this child, I can get riches in this simulation, you're gonna do it.
Gonna do it 100%.
And that's what we're going through right now. So everybody that's watching this, you can look up Professor Jim Gates. He's a black man, well-versed. Neil deGrasse Tyson avoids him, and every time he wants to call a debate, because, you know, working with celebrities for a long time, they live in a certain bubble,
right?
And they act like most time. And I realized that they would hire me, and they know that when it come to like gangster shit, I'm gonna get it done. But I know that if I handle the simulation right, I won't get caught.
Oh yeah, you know how to work it. You said something crazy. You said you can actually control the simulation.
Yeah, it goes back to what you was telling people about manifestation.
Right. So, are those people or are those entities right now controlling people in the simulation? Are people being controlled or people controlling themselves? What is happening with that?
Right. So I'll say this: we definitely be in control. There's a book by Linda Moulton Howe called Alien Harvest, and there's a book by Dr. Roger Lear, rest in peace, called Hacking the Alien Internet. In the 70s, there was a situation called the wow signal,
right,
where SETI detected a signal coming from a few light years away,
right,
and they was able to decode it,
right,
and the decoding said, continued study of humanity for planetary advancement.
Hey, look, if you're just out here f***ing with me, you're fixing to end up in jail. You understand? So where are you? Nope, I'm getting the f*** done with this shit, man.
Back in 2019, a TikTok user by the name of Security1275 would begin to document his nights on patrol at his local cemetery. The following is a compilation of some of his more haunting experiences.
Okay, I'm back. Door was open again. Hello, security. Okay. I don't know how the hell they keep opening these. Hello. Yeah. Hey, you need to come out. I'm not playing anymore. I don't know where the hell these people are, or where. Jesus Christ. All right, calm. All right, guys. There was somebody standing in the corner. I just saw that when my video uploaded, and what the? The lights are flickering on and off. Hang on a second, guys. So, don't know what the hell is going on here, but I'm about to check this out. Okay, guys. I'm really not sure what's going on here. Nope. Yeah, I'm done. This is some spooky shit going on here. Nope. This is why my security officer quit. Just so y'all can be witness here. I'm checking all this shit. I'm getting the hell out of here. This is my day off. I hear leaves crickling and shit. Nope. There was a kid standing, somebody was standing right over here when I walked right past them to the left. What is going on? I'm basically just securing all this stuff right now. Just making sure there's nobody in here. Anybody in here? Hello? Yeah, but listen, you got to get out of here. You're going to have to come talk to me, okay? Where you at? I can't see you. You're correct, so you need to come out, okay? You guys hear this? This is broad daylight. I don't know where this kid is. Where are you? So what is going on, you guys? There is a red truck out here. And the chapel lights just came on. Hello? Hey, look, if you're just out here with me, you're fixing to end up in jail. You understand? So where are you? Nope, I'm getting the done with this shit, man. Nope. Hell to the no. Somebody's out here fucking with me. Or this is some scary I ain't doing this garbage.
Well, you guys see, that's another one in the books, man. Hey, I appreciate you guys for always stopping by, watching, and learning with me. If you haven't already, do me the biggest favor and hit that like button for me, hit that hype button, and subscribe if you're not already a part of the iTrack fam, and I will definitely catch you on the next one.